Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. I'm Father Bill Parham, for those of you who may be new here, and it's my honor to have been selected to present a spiritual edification as we celebrate this Divine Mercy Sunday. For those who will probably be also watching this on YouTube or on the other sites of the Divine Mercy, this is at St. Anne's Church in Bartlett, Tennessee, and we're privileged here to have a diocesan shrine of St. Faustina and a chapel of Divine Mercy located on the grounds of our parish. So this afternoon, I want us to go on a journey. Let's explore what is divine mercy. And let's accent divine. When you hear the word mercy, various images come into your mind, do they not? Sometimes we think that mercy is to, forgive someone's debt, or sometimes we think that mercy is not only forgiveness, but sometimes we think that means absolving someone from responsibility. We may readily imagine a judge, and you're praying for a merciful sentence, correct? Use the expression, throw yourself on the mercy of the court. As Catholics, we are accustomed to hearing and practicing the spiritual and the corporal works of mercy. In the book of Exodus, chapter 34, beginning on verse 6, and I want to repeat, Exodus chapter 34, starting on verse 6, there is the enunciation of the 13 mercies of God. Now, some of you later on may pick up the book of Exodus, and you'll try to count the 13 mercies, and you're going to tell me you could only find 11. Well, that's because you're not a rabbi. The first mercy of God is, in English we would say the Lord, in Hebrew, Yahweh, God's name. And then God cries out again a second time, Yahweh. Those are the first two mercies of God. His first mercy is that He loved us when He created us. And the second mercy is that He loved us after the fall. And a promise is given to us. The incarnation, the gift of His Son. The apostles were very familiar with that, because the 13 mercies of God are recited at every Passover. No doubt recited also at the Last Supper. And every Sunday, we keep repeating at every Mass, do we not? Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. But again, all too often, our image of divine mercy perhaps goes back to those regular images we have. Leniency, forgiving something. It's amazing. The word that we translate Lord have mercy in English, in Greek the word is Kyrie eleison. The word eleos in Greek means to give alms or relief to the poor. There are institutions that are called eleemosynary institutions. They give care, health care, hospitalization to the poor. We think that receiving mercy is to give someone a break. Or to use another expression, A person is overburdened and we, shall we use the popular expression, cut them some slack. Can you imagine what it really must sound like if we were to come on Sunday and say in English, Lord, give me a break. Oh, Christ, cut me some slack. If you go to Mass in Italian, the expression is, Signore pietà. In Spanish, Señor piedad. We all have an image of what pietà is, don't we? The most famous image, the most powerfully rendered artwork and statue in the world by Michelangelo Buonarroti, the Blessed Mother, holding the crucified body of her Son. As she tries to contemplate the face of God in a face that is now so broken, in the words of Isaiah chapter 52, doesn't even look like a human being anymore. What is the word for mercy in the Old Testament that Jesus heard and the apostles? That word in Exodus chapter 34 and throughout the Old Testament, in Hebrew the word is rachamim. Rachamim. That word that we use for mercy has the same root origin as the Hebrew word for a mother's womb. The sacred space where life is conceived and born, carried, cared for, and birthed. Divine mercy is about new birth in Christ, giving salvation and redemption, but most importantly, his friendship. Friendship. Those words before he goes into the garden in the Gospel of John. I no longer call you servants. I call you friends. Yes, a judge can give you a merciful decision, but that judge does not want to have your friendship. Divine mercy is more intimate. Bear this in mind. Jesus Christ never asked anyone to do anything for him, but he invited everyone to do something and to become someone with him. As we celebrate this Divine Mercy Sunday, we recall the appearance in the Gospel of John today of the risen Christ in the upper room. Jesus encounters Peter, who denied him. He encounters the apostles who ran away from him. What's his mercy? Did he sit there and say, "What's wrong with you guys?" No. His divine mercy is more than just forgiving them. The deeper mercy of the risen Christ is that he empowers them to continue his mission. To continue his mission, his gospel, and his presence. Not only in the Word, but especially in the gift of the Eucharist. He restores them to become a part of his life. A judge can give you a merciful dismissal, but he or she doesn't want you to be a part of their life. His divine mercy is that all of us are invited to be a part of his life, a part of his mission, a part of his outreach and charity, an outreach in Eucharist, education, evangelization. His mercy is that we're with him. He shares his life. Here's another extreme example of divine mercy. Saul of Tarsus, St. Paul. Christ's mercy, his divine mercy, is that he chooses his worst persecutor and chooses him to be his greatest evangelist. The one who hated him now becomes the one to explain his life. But yet, perhaps his greatest mercy is that Jesus Christ is thankful. Perhaps his greatest mercy is that Jesus Christ is thankful. Remember, the Greek word Eucharist that we will celebrate later at 5 o'clock, that's the word that we use for Holy Communion, means giving thanks. Because the words of Jesus. He took the bread, gave thanks over the bread and wine. The Eucharist, the most merciful divine gift for participation in the life of Jesus Christ and his mission. But think about something. He gave thanks. Thanks for what? One is going to betray him. Another is going to deny him. Everyone else is going to run away from him. How many of us can be thankful for that kind of an experience, correct? We rarely think that Jesus Christ can be thankful for us. Through his mercy, we are invited and allowed to participate in his life. In spite of our brokenness, betrayals, and belittled lives. Jesus Christ cares greatly for what we can become for the future of his mission. His mercy reaches out to the restored meaningfulness of our lives. A restoration of the meaningfulness of our lives. And why? For the sake of his sorrowful passion. I want to conclude my reflection with you this afternoon by reading a poem that I wrote on the shore, one evening on the shore of the Sea of Galilee. It was March the 8th of 2010. This poem was later set to a musical presentation, like a chant. The poem is entitled Green Golden Prophecy. Green and gold are the colors of the Incarnation. Green representing the earth. Gold is the metal and the color of the divine. The Ark of the Covenant is made of wood and plated gold inside and outside. It's a prophecy of the Word become flesh. the reconciliation of the human and the divine. And by the way, I mentioned the color green. When Mary Magdalene first saw Jesus Christ risen, she thought he was what? The gardener. The one who keeps things green, alive. Jesus asked his apostles to go ahead of him to Galilee. It's in the evening when he appears in the upper room. Imagine an evening, wondering if there will be light again within our life as we hope for the presence of the risen Lord to be with us. Those who on that first day of the week were frightened. And how do they become part of a new story? And so the reflection in this poem, Green Golden Prophecy. The evening is one blue dew. Stars fade into the wall of night. What could be our guide, or who calls us to proceed without fright? Voices sing in quiet desire that night's cover gives one warm light. Seek to join the celestial choir, that voice may cry, the warmth grow bright. My voice becomes my own, truly my own, for my voice opens the green golden dawn. Twilight's prophet glows golden green, as tender hands hold mysteries unseen. What could be our purpose, or who calls us to prophesy the dawn unseen? Voices praise into the bold delight, the hand-raised semaphore of sorrow, chanting, Creator lover of the stars of night. My voice becomes truly his own, for I cried his own story told, for the sake of his sorrowful passion. Have mercy on us and on the whole world.